I'm so excited about this. Are you as excited as I am? I doubt it. Hi everyone. My name is Kyler. Why did I say that? You should know what my name is Kyler by this point. And this is my bookcase that I'll be sharing with you. Every single book on it. Every single book on it. Every single book on it. I got these lights like a week ago, and I never put them up, and I decided I'm putting them on bookcase. They're so bright. I'm not sure if they're LED or not. I hope they're LED because that's like environmentally friendly, at least more environmentally friendly. But I'm gonna turn that off because you can kind of see the glare. I just want to show you that it's so bright. It's so cool. But what I'll be doing today, as I just said, I'll be showing you every single book on my bookcase. This is as of January 3rd, 2022. It's definitely going to change. I know that for a fact. I'll be going up to down. We're going to start. I'm sorry, I'm so flustered. I can't believe this is happening. We're going to start with the books on this shelf. And this is my favorite books shelf. I'm going to start with I'm going to start with the books on the top of it that I don't have room for. Okay, so this book is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Best book. Literally best book. I cannot find anything wrong with this book. I really loved it. I read it when I went to Ghana. I just love it. It's like one of my favorite books of all time. It's so beautifully written. It's a big book, and I love big books. At least I love when I read big books because it makes me feel smarter. Also, I love when I actually like big books, which isn't that frequent. So, and plus, yeah, it's based on West African mythology. I am West African. I'm Ghanaian, so I like that aspect of it. This is a book I actually have not read, which is funny because it's on my favorite bookshelf. It's Learn to Speak Spanish Deluxe reference book. My family and I recently went to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. I brought it even though I didn't even use it once, but I love Spanish. Spanish is my favorite language, I'd say, so I definitely want to read this. And it has like a lot of information in it, even though it's like real small. This is a book called Solo by Kwame Alexander. This is the only book that I have that is an advanced reader's copy. I got it from reading during the summer, and it was connected with my local library. So I really like this book. It tells the story of a musician, which I guess I kind of am. He's a son of a Hollywood rock musician, which is pretty cool. And I like the story. It's in verse. I love verse. Kwame Alexander is one of my favorite authors, because like every single book that I read of his, I instantly liked. Then we have Pride and Prejudice. This is the only book up here that I had to read. I had to read this during the summer. This summer for English 2 honors. It's a pretty big book. I got the revised and expanded edition, so on the right of each page it has an explanation of like some of the words in the text. But yeah, it's like really funny. It's, I guess, the oldest book that I've ever read as well, and I like it. It's really cool. And this is another book I purchased during the summer. This is Jagged Little Pill. You Live, You Learn Memories, the stories behind the iconic album and groundbreaking musical. I also have the album of Jagged Little Pill, and I got this during, I can't remember, there's just some kind of sale on Amazon, and I bought it, and it was only like $10, but usually it's like $40, so it was a very big steal, and it looks so cool. It has the whole entire libretto, as in like the script, and I just really like it. Okay, I believe that is all for the top books. Oh, actually the one that fell, right. This is another book that I didn't read. Essential Dictionary of Music. It's real small, but I want to read it. And all about music. It's not like music theory or anything, but it's cool. Should I take out each book? I don't really want to. Maybe I'll film something later, zooming in on each of the books. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. So maybe I'll just like take a short video of every single book on this. That's gonna take a very long time to film, but oh well. So the first one I have is Where is Broadway? It's part of the iconic series Who Was, Who Were, What Is, That Thing. I read a lot of these when I was a kid. I'm still a kid, but okay. Then Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, parts 1 and 2. I guess this is kind of like the first play that I read. I like Harry Potter. I'm not even that big of a fan. I haven't even read all the books, but I really like the play. I really want to watch it on Broadway. Then we have a book that was written for me, kind of. It's Sesame Street, My Adventures with ABCs. It's this company cool thing where basically you pay and they put in your name in a text. It's like a fill in the blank kind of. So my name is in there. It says Kyler did this. It also has my sister's name, I believe. Also my cousin's, I believe. So yeah, it's real cool. Then we have The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Hound by Charlie Mackesy. And I got it 2 years ago, I believe, for Christmas. I really like it. It is very easy to read. I could probably memorize it if I wanted. It's just like real cute, and I really like it. And it was the Barnes & Noble Book of the Year in 2019, I think. Then we have James Patterson, I Funny. James Patterson is also one of my favorite authors. He has a lot of books, a lot of middle grade YA series. I think I've read at least like one from every single series, I want to say. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. They're just a lot. There's Middle School, Treasure Hunters, I Funny, Jackie Haha. There's some standalones. There's, I can't remember what it's called. There's Potty Mouth and Expletive. There's The Unbreakable Bard or something. I can't remember what it's called right now, sorry. There's his like autobiography called Laugh Out Loud. There's a lot, and I like all of them. But I Funny, it also has some ableism diversity, I guess. Ableist diversity. Not sure if that's the right term, but like the main character's in a wheelchair. Swing by Paul Alexander. It's kind of a companion to Solo by Paul Alexander, which is also on my favorite list. It tells a story about somebody named Walt who has a crush on his longtime friend named Sam. In the ending, the ending, you're not ready. Okay. Orbiting Jupiter, Gary D. Schmidt. Still don't know how to pronounce that name. Only book to this day, I'm pretty sure, that has made me cry. I didn't really cry, but I kind of cried. I mean, I kind of cried, but I didn't cry. Like, I was very teary-eyed. It's an emotional journey, like, throughout, really. The Lines of Little Rock. Yes, this is a very callback book. I haven't read this book in a long time. I read it with my mother. That was the last time I read it, I believe. I probably read it like 3 times by now. It's about, I think it takes time during like the Little Rock 9, going to, I think it's Alabama, but yeah, it's cool. It's about a Caucasian and African American girl's friendship. I barely remember it, so you know what? I'm gonna move it to the next shelf, which I'll be discussing later. Maybe I'll split this into sections because I'm already filming for 10 minutes and I'm really worried that my storage is gonna run out. So maybe I'll split it into like 2 shelves and 2 shelves. Good thought. Okay, so next we have Kwame Alexander, Light for the World to See. It's a couple of poems that he wrote in like 4 years or something. He wrote 3 in all. They're pretty long. I read this with my mother as well. I need to work on memorizing that. I think I mentioned in a movie of mine, Citations After Winter Break. Mommy and I read Kwame Alexander's Light for the World to See today. It is pretty good. I recommend it. Mommy gave me the idea of like trying to memorize one of the like chapters, I guess. So I'm excited to do that. I'll definitely eventually memorize it, but there's no rush for me anyway. Thought I was gonna try to memorize it, and I still haven't. So I need to work on that. This is the book that I wrote myself. It's called Camo Ella and Other Stories. I had to write it for elementary school. They gave us like a blank book and we wrote stories. I can't remember if there's any like guidelines for like what we had to write about, or I don't know. But it's cool. Always holds a special place in my heart. Now we have Dear Martin. This is the book I've read most recently on my favorites. That was a new read when I read it. Dear Martin, Nick Stone. I read it during summer. I really like the voice in this. It seems like it's really cool. It's like very casual, but I really like it. I want to read the companion called Dear Justice. I still haven't gotten it, but I want to. I really want to. Then my favorites graphic novel series by Svetlana Chmakova. Not by her, but it is by her. But I'm not saying it's my favorite series by her. I'm saying it's my favorite graphic novel series, and it happens to be by Svetlana Chmakova. It's Awkward, Brave, and Crush. I love these books. They're so funny. They're so cool. I love how they're drawn. It just like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The characters are great. I'm upset, mildly upset, that there's not going to be a fourth one and a fifth one and a sixth one. We released recently like companion book to this series. It was like, I can't remember the title of it, but it was like little shorts, comic strips about like different characters. I think I read that in like a Barnes & Noble visit because it wasn't that long. But yeah, I love this series. This is one of the few series I've had to wait for new books to come out. I read Awkward, and then I had to wait for Brave. I asked it for my birthday, I believe, and then I had to wait for Crush. So yeah. Okay, next we have my favorite series, I want to say. Can I? Yeah, probably. The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. He was Kurt Hummel on Glee, if you watch Glee. He's probably most well known for that, but he also writes, and he writes pretty well. It's a fairy tale series. It's about pair of twins that are relatives of fairy tale characters, and I love it. It's really nice. This is also another series that I have to wait for new books to come out. Technically, some of these are my sister's because she liked the series before me, but I kind of stole them. But I think I asked her if I could steal them, so I didn't really steal them. I took them with permission. I need to reread this series. Next, we have Shadow and Bone on Lee Bardugo. It is the first book in the Grishaverse. For some reason, people don't like this book, but I think it's my favorite book in the Grishaverse. Or not in the Grishaverse, but in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I really like it. It's very straightforward. It's cool. It's written very well. I can't see any complaints with it. That's why it's part of my favorites. The final one is Treasure Hunters by James Patterson as well. I'm not really sure why this is on it. I know that I like it. I know that it's pretty binge-worthy. I know that's really long, so maybe that's also why I liked it. I want to read it again. There's a lot in this series. There's like, I think there are six now. I need to catch up on the series. Should I put it on my next shelf? Maybe. Nah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Speaking of my next shelf is Read Again books. These are books, it's self-explanatory, I don't even know why I'm saying this, that I want to read again. They may be favorites, that I just want to like remember are my favorites, why they're my favorites. I guess that's the only reason. Maybe I just forgot about the plot in general, and I don't know. There may be another reason that I'm not thinking about right now. So first we have Dear Edward. This is the most recent one I put on here. This was a Barnes & Noble book club book of the month. It was for January. I really like it, and the only reason why I'm reading it, why I put this here, is because I recently went on an airplane ride, and this book takes place on an airplane ride. And I remember liking it. I think I read it pretty fast. I barely remember what happens. So I want to read it again. Oh, before I forget, this is a book that I just put here, as you just saw me do Lines of Little Rock. Next we have Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Not sure how to pronounce that. It tells about Charlie, who's a wallflower, introverts. I'm an introvert, I think. I'm pretty sure. And I got this for $1 at a library book sale. It's really cool that I did that. I got a lot of books on this bookshelf actually from that same exact book sale. So it's really cool. I'm excited whenever my library does that because the books are pretty cheap. I originally read this a few years ago when my sister was reading it for her English class, which I'm actually part of now. I'm part of the English class that she took. But the annoying thing is, apparently we're not reading it this year. My teacher said that now it's part of the academic level English courses criteria, which is pretty interesting. I really want to read it for school, but I guess I'll have to just read it by myself. So that kind of motivates me to read it. I was kind of waiting to read it until we were actually reading it in school, but maybe I'm kind of motivated to read it more. So maybe, you know what? I'm gonna move it to another section, which you'll hear about later. This is a quote-unquote book that I wrote when we went to Ghana. It was really cool, the whole experience. I literally didn't even write that much. Hopefully I can even read my handwriting. Like, literally, I did not write that much at all. This is what I wrote, this is the space I wrote, and this is the space that I didn't write in, so there is a lot of empty space. Maybe next time I go to Ghana, I'll continue writing in this book, but I want to read it. I want to read it one of these days. Next we have My Lord, What a Morning by Marian Anderson. I chose this person, Marian Anderson, for something called National History Day. It's like a national event where you pick a person or you pick some people. There's a subject for the year and you make a project of some sort talking about them. And I bought the book and I read some of the chapters, but I did not read the whole entire thing, and I really want to. I ended up getting 5th place. I did not get into the top 3, so I didn't advance, but that's okay. I still have the pictures on my other phone. Maybe I'll show them right now. Whoa, so cool. My poster looks so cool, huh? My poster looks so cool, huh? Okay. Dear Evan Hansen. The movie recently came out. Nobody liked it. I haven't even watched it, but people don't like it. But this is the novelization of the musical. It actually is different than the musical. I like this book. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of swears, though. I bought this book and Mommy said, like, nah, you ain't reading this because it's too inappropriate. And then I asked for it again, and she said, I bet. So she gave it to me. Same thing happened with Solo. Originally, I got it. It was a high school nomic nom. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a high school nomic nominee at the time, but it was a high school book at the time. And I was still in middle school, so she wouldn't let me read it. Okay. Next we have Henry James Garrett, This Book Will Make You Kinder. I got this book last year for Christmas. I actually did not read the entirety of the book, but it's on my read again section just because I read some of it and then I kind of stopped it. Yeah, I don't know. I want to be kinder. This book will make you kinder.
We can read this together.
After
The
I
whole
read it.
you, Kayla, and I, and Daddy.
I think it'll be
We
very
can all read it
interesting.
together.
I need to be kinder. I mean,
Yes,
anybody
we
can be
all
kinder.
need to be kinder.
And that's cool. I wanna read this book, but it's not like I don't know. Okay, 12th Night by the Willie Shakes, Liam Pears. He's the best. He's great. This was the first book that I got, part of the series called No Fear Shakespeare, where basically there's the original Shakespearean text and the original text right next to each other. Nope, Shakespearean text and an modern Englishified version right next to it. And I bought that, and I've been getting a lot more. These are all the books I have. Lots of books in that series that I own. Next we have Gordon Corman's Masterminds. It is a nomic nominee. The year that I did something that my school does called the Book Bowl, where basically read nomic nominees and then you like get tested on it. This was one of the nomic nominees. My group did not win, which was sad. But I want to read it again because I liked the book. I think it was on my favorite list at one time, so I moved it because I was like, why is it my favorite? Then we have Tales from Africa by K.P. Kojo. My aunts from Ghana got this for me. I read a few stories. They're pretty short, and I like them, and I want to read more of them. Better Than Ever by Tim Federle. You may know him as the creator and director of some episodes of High School Musical, the musical, the series, which recently got renewed for a 3rd season. There's also a movie coming out of the book on Disney Plus this summer. I can't believe I can say this summer because it's 2022. Whoa, how weird. I'm excited to watch that, and I need to read the book to get myself reacquainted with the whole entire world. And I like it. It was a nomic nominee. I believe it was a middle school nomic nominee. And it was nice. It's actually a trilogy, so I'll probably read the whole entire series once I get to this book. Maybe I should move it to the other section too, because the movie's coming out fairly soon. Yeah, I guess I will. Okay. I guess since I have it, Frindle, Andrew Clemens. This was like my favorite book, I feel like, for a while. Everybody knows the story, I feel like. Dude named Nick, he decides to call the pen of Frindle, and that's the premise. I remember something specifically from this book. The principal or the assistant principal, some person in power in his school, taught me the word fad, and she said the fad begins to fade, and I just always remember that from this book. Mrs. Granger, that's her name. She is Nick's teacher, and I believe the epilogue of this novel follows in the perspective of Mrs. Granger too. That's a random tidbit that I remembered right now. O.C. Daniel by Wesley King. I literally barely remember this book. The only thing I remember about this book is the last chapter takes place when Daniel is in his bedroom and he's texting. I think there may be a mystery as well, but I barely remember like at all. I know I read it, but I don't remember it. This was my first box set ever. One of two. I haven't gotten that many box sets. It's a duology, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I got this during quarantine. And I like it. I like the box that it comes in. I like the books themselves. But I kind of binge read them because I was like utterly bored during quarantine. I wasn't really reading for enjoyment. I was reading for something to do. So I need to read them again. Also, my sister has finished one more book in the Grishaverse than I have. I want to be more acquainted with it than her because I read it first and I introduced it to her and I told her to watch the TV show, and now she's read more books than me and it's making me very insecure, so I need to read the whole entire series again, the whole Grishaverse, and then we'll be even. Stamps, Jason Reynolds. I barely remember this book too. It's a very important book. It talks about anti-racism and racism. And I barely remember it. I read it in like 2 days. It was like during the summer. I remember the second day that I read it, I had like a migraine or a headache. And then I woke up and then I started reading again. And I finished it that night. The Odyssey. I read this last year for English class, which is actually kind of a big deal. I mean, I was literally in freshman year and we're reading Homer. That's kind of a big deal, I feel like. But I like it way more than the Iliad. There's also a book on my bookshelf that's related to the story of the Odyssey. No, actually, never mind. It's actually connected with the Iliad. So never mind. Scratch that. 52 Little Lessons from a Christmas Carol by Bob Welch. I feel like I read only like two days of this, which is bad. Or 2 weeks of this. I think it's just like once a week reading. I actually want to read this for 2022. I'll read one story a week. So I'm going to take this out of my bookshelf, so I'll put it like on my desk or something. So encourage me to read it. We're almost done with the first part of the series. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. I think I read this. I like it. It's a pretty cool book. It's part of like the series that's like great illustrated classics. We have a lot of these. We have Moby Dick. I believe we have The Invisible Man. Oh, also 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I believe we have that book as well. Oh, and nope, not Macbeth. Moby Dick. I said that already. Okay. He also wrote Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is kind of interesting. Like, those are two vastly different books. Almost done. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. It's a pretty sad book, so I've heard. I didn't cry because I barely remember it. There's also a movie that I'll probably watch. I think it has the dude from like Hugo in it, like the main character Hugo in it. I can't remember his name right now. Is it Asa Butterfield? I think it's Asa Butterfield. Okay, One for the Murphys. I barely remember this book as well. I remember there's a character which is kind of like a bully to friends with the main character, and her name was Tony, and that was the nickname that she gave to herself because she wants to be an actress and like get a Tony Award. So respect. Okay, Grimm's Fairy Tales, the Brothers Grimm. Daddy got it for me when he went to Germany for his job, and I read, like, I want to say one story from this. Rump, the true story of Rumpelstiltskin by, let's see, I think it's Liesl Shirtliff. I read this book. I'm almost positive. Actually, I'm positive that it was on my favorite sections. Not anymore, because I moved it here. And A Snicker of Magic. This is another Nutmeg nominee that I read during the book bowl, for the book bowl. Barely remember. I know it had something to do with words. It took place in, like, a quiet town. The main character's name is Natalie, I believe. And, yeah. I'm actually surprised at how much I remember, like, little details. But, okay. Ooh, two more. The Secret Files of Faraday Marvel. It's like a mystery book, which I'm not. I don't love mystery books, at all. But this book kind of changed it. I mean, yeah, since this book I haven't read, like, any mystery books, I want to say, besides, like, I'm thinking Eddie Read, which was also a book that I read for the book bowl. I'm not sure if I actually read this before or after Eddie Read. The only other book that I read besides that was mystery recently-ish was Sadie by Courtney Summers. My sister owns the book. I don't, but I listened to the audiobook. Best audiobook I've ever read. One of the best books I read in 2021. You should read it. You should definitely read it. So yeah, I'm not into mystery. But if a book is good enough, I keep reading it, even if it is mystery. I used to get stomach aches just reading mysteries. Pretty anxious kid. Still am. I'm still an anxious kid, but, like, I was more anxious back then. And finalmente, we have The Watsons Go to Birmingham by Christopher Paul Curtis. I actually doubt I actually read this. I feel like I did not. I watched the movie. It gave me nightmares from the whirlpool. That scared me. It still does. And I want to read this book. It takes place in the 60s, 1963. Sky Jackson from Jessie is in this. Whoa, it's actually a Hallmark Channel original movie. I didn't know it was in Hallmark. It was part of Hallmark, which is kind of interesting. I kind of equate Hallmark with, like, low diversity, so the fact that it's like it's a black family is kind of surprising to me. And Hallmark made a movie for that. But it's a pleasant surprise. Alright, that is the first part of this 3-part series of my bookshelf. I'm so excited. So excited. You want me to tell you? I'll tell you what the subject of my next shelf is, just to get you excited. The next book shelf is the category of books I have never read before. And with that, I hope that entices you to continue watching the series. And I'll see you then. Keep on reading. I hated how I said that. Okay, hi. So I decided I'm just going to combine part 1, 2, and 3 of Sproutbound Speculation Footnotes Chapter 4 in one video. So I'm going to show you all of my books in just one video. I was going to split it up into parts because I thought all of the clips combined would be over 2 hours, but I don't think they will be. So yeah, I'm just going to put them in one video. Okay, it's time for the second part of my bookshelf. First of all, this is a book that's not really on the 2 shelves. This is just a book that I want to make a video on soon. So I just put that here. Okay, the third shelf I have is never read before books. We have The Vegetarian Handbook. I got it from a library bookstore. I believe this is the book that I got for $1. Followed by Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. A booktuber recommended this book to me. There's also another book of hers called Emergency Contact that I want to read. I think there may be another one that I can't remember the title of right now, but I'll put it to the side of me if there is another one. Then we have The Phantom of the Opera. Can't remember where I got this book. Maybe last year sometime, I think. Or maybe like 2019 or 2020. Then we have Give Your Child the World. I think it's just like a collection of books. A collection of book recommendations, I think. Oh, I should give like a summary for all the books. Okay, my bad. Let's start over. Vegetarian Handbook, kind of self-explanatory. Yoke, I know it's about these two sisters named June and something else that I can't remember. And one of them has cancer, and that's basically all I have about it. Then Scholastic Book of Lists. I got this a while ago. I can't remember where I got it, but I know I've had it for a while. It's just a book of lists. Japanese Proverbs. When my dad went to Japan, he got this for me, which is cool. Where do you get your ideas? It's about ideas in terms of like book ideas, like writing ideas. I got this from the library last year for $1, I believe. Well, actually, no, it wasn't. This was part of the downstairs library book sale. Then we have pre-algebra and algebra and biology. All you need to know in one big fat notebook. I got these for school. I've looked at them a couple of times, but yeah. A Tale of Witchcraft. I got this book and it's actually signatured as well. It's a sequel to a book called The Tale of Magic, which I'll be discussing later in this video. This is by Chris Colfer, who also wrote one of my favorite series, The Land of Stories. X, a novel by Alicia Shabazz. I got this book mainly because it was only like $8 on Amazon. I started reading it when I was pretty young. I want to say in middle school. I think it was like 7th grade, but it was like too confusing and I got bored. But I got it now, so I should read it. Little Pilgrim's Progress by, what is it, Elizabeth Taylor, I want to say, maybe? Helen L. Taylor, sorry. I read the first half of this, which is about Christian, but I haven't read Christina's perspective, and it's pretty interesting. It's cool. And it's really short chapters, which I always appreciate. Monster by Walter Dean Myers. I got this from the trash place at the local trash place in my town's recycled book center. I think you just are supposed to bring books and get books, and it's like you never have to pay. So I got it. I know that it's in the form of like a script, which is pretty cool. Okay, then we have my little No Fear Shakespeare collection of books that I haven't read. We have Macbeth, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, and Othello. Then we have Black Enough, Stories of Being Young and Black in America. I read one chapter of this with my mother, and then I just never went back to it, so I want to read it. Dear Justice by Nick Stone. This is one of the most recent books that I bought. It's the sequel, I guess, to Dear Martin, which I really like, and is part of my favorite book selection. Renegades, Arch Enemies, and Supernova. This is a series of The Renegades by Marissa Meyer. She also wrote The Lunar Chronicles, which is like adaptations of fairy tales, but I really want to read this. I started like the first book, but I only got through like the prologue, but it sounds really enticing, so I want to read them, especially since I have the whole entire series, which is cool. Okay, now we're on to the bottom section. This is split up into two. We have the next books I want to read. It doesn't matter if I've read them before or I've never read them, but these are just the next books that I want to read, as well as favorite books continued. Now recently, I think like last weekend or this weekend, as in like yesterday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the closest Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to today, if that makes any sense, I kind of reorganized my bookshelf a bit. So I do want to read the Renegade series like pretty soon, but they are on the never read before instead of the very next read, just because I didn't have room. Oh my goodness, I'm literally blocking with my knee. Sorry. Okay, let me move the camera. Okay, is that better? No, I don't have anything to support it though. Okay, hold on. I have a stand. But now you can't see me. Ugh. I never win. That's not gonna work. Hold on. This will work, I suppose. Even though I'm kind of uncomfortable, that's alright. So let's get started with this. First, I guess I'll start with the ones that are like on top of the bookshelf, because there just isn't room. We have Behind the Song. It's a list, not a list. It's a collection, I think a collection of famous authors and the songs that they like. I got this, where did I get this? I got this, I can't remember the exact place we were in, but I got it on our way back from a trip. I think it was a college trip. They're just like a bookstore. It wasn't even Barnes & Noble, so maybe it may have been, this may be my only bookstore that hasn't been Barnes & Noble that I've bought something from outside of like the library. But yeah, it says young adult authors and musicians write about music that inspired them. Okay. Then we have The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I've wanted to read this for a pretty long time. It's about a boy that is autistic and he sees his neighbor's dog dead, and he tries to crack the case of how it became dead. It got adapted into a Broadway play and actually won Best Play, so I really want to read this. As well as The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. This is a Nutmeg nominee a couple years back. A booktuber that I like said that it was the funniest book she's ever read. So, that was my main motivation in getting it. Okay, next we have Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, the workbook. I do not have Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, the book, so I need to get that, and then I can definitely use this workbook. I actually thought this was the actual book and not the workbook, but yeah, I definitely need the regular book to fill out the workbook. I said books so many times. Okay, Our Dark Duets by Victoria Schwab. As you may know, I have read The Savage Song, and this is the sequel to The Savage Song. Okay, then we have Aristotle and Dante series. It's a duology by Benjamin O'Leary Sons. It's the same booktuber that said that she liked The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, said that she liked this book. And yeah, I got the box set. This is the second box set that I have. The first one that I got was the Six of Crows duology. Maybe I just have something, something with duologies. Booked sets duologies. Okay, then The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Everybody seems to like this book. It's pretty popular on Book Talk. I just really want to read this. Then we have King of Stars by Leigh Bardugo. I need to read King of Stars as soon as possible. Then we have Working on a Song, the lyrics of Hadestown. Hadestown is probably my favorite musical. And there's a book released all about the lyrics of Hadestown, so I want to read that a lot. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I read this. I was looking forward to reading this for school, but I found out we're actually not reading it for school. But I still want to read it, and I want to read it soon. Better Nate Than Ever. Okay, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Of course, it's Harry Potter. Love the first book. Love the 8th book. I've read the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and I think I started the 5th, but I never finished it, and I never read the 6th or 7th. Okay, Much Ado About Nothing. I was in the play of that. If you know, you may not, but it holds a special place in my heart, so it has to be on here. Then we have English Language Arts, another big fat notebook. I just love English. It's really fascinating, really informational. I like it, so I put it here. A Tale of Magic by Chris Colfer as well. This is the first book. Okay, then we have Series Unfortunate Events. There are 13 books in this series, as you may know. I love the Netflix adaptation, and that's, I've never understood, is it adaptation or adaptation? I need to set the record straight. But anyway, I love the Netflix adaptation. So I had to read the books. I've definitely read all of them, but it took like a real short time. I want to say like 2 days or something, because it's like, yeah, they're pretty fast books, but I love them, and I'm just trying to get all of them. I've gotten all of them only from library book sales. So I have the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. So now I only need the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Laurie House Anderson, Chains. This is a book I read, I want to say in 7th grade. It's about a slave named, I believe, let's see if I get this right, Isabella Gardner. I'd be really proud of myself if I did. I'm pretty sure that's what her name is. How can I figure this out? Yeah, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it is. I need to read the series. It's actually the first book in a trilogy. I never read the 2nd or the 3rd book, so I really need to get to that. And since I want to read this book again, and also the whole entire trilogy, I'm actually going to move this to the next reads, because I barely remember the book. Okay, then we have Sonnets, also by William Shakespeare. I have lots of bookmark sonnets in this. I just love it. Lots of cool things to memorize, like an easy thing to memorize, because they're so short and sweet. Then we have A Midsummer's Night Dream, probably my favorite Shakespeare play. If not, it's probably Much Ado About Nothing, since again I did it. It's just so cool. It's so cool. And finally, we have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, also part of the Grishaverse. I have a lot of the Grishaverse. I have 5 out of the 7 books, I believe. No, I have 5 of the 8 books. I think it's 8. No, 7. No, 8. Yeah, 8. And that is my bookshelf. This was such a faster part than my first two shelves. Mostly because I need to go to karate and we leave at 5:45. So I have about 6 minutes to get ready for karate, so I need to get on that. But thanks so much. The next part of this will be me showing you my book chest. Thank you so much. This was fun. This was fun. I probably liked the first part of this series a little better. I don't know why, but maybe because I was talking about a lot of my favorite books. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next part of this. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed filming it. It's really nice to look at my bookshelf. And I hope it's been nice for you too. Okay. See ya. Alright. Redoing this. The third part of my series. Showing y'all all my books. Of course, y'all can't hear it because, well, maybe you will. Maybe I'll just have black space. But right now, as of right now, I haven't turned on my camera. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's get to work. Hello, everyone. This is the third part. Hi. This is the third part of my series where I'll be showing you all of the books that I own. I have an overhead shot today. I'm filming with my camera and it's on the tripod. You can see that little leg right there sticking out, but so we have a baritone ukulele chord finder. It has like a lot of chords. And when I mean lots of chords, I mean lots of chords. Has some theory at the beginning. And it has all of these chords, literally all of these kind of chords. Can you see that? I'll read them real quick. Major, minor, augmented, diminished, fifth, power chord, added ninth, minor added ninth, suspended fourth, suspended second, sixth, minor sixth, major seventh, major ninth, minor seventh, major seventh, flat fifth, minor ninth, minor 11th, seventh, seventh, suspended fourth, augmented seventh, seventh, flat fifth, ninth, seventh, sharp ninth, seventh, flat ninth, 11th, 13th, and diminished seventh. So it has a lot of them. This is a book that I got last year for Christmas, as in, I guess, 2 years ago for Christmas, in 2020, I guess, or before 2021 started, a positivity book. I was kind of nearing the end, actually, but I never finished it. Maybe that's why I'm not positive. This is the book I got for Daddy, but he said he didn't want it, essentially, so I just took it. Ukulele tab notebook. There are like tabs in this book, and I can write song ideas. I have a few. Ukulele fretboard road maps. This is a book I haven't really dived into. I looked through it and it was kind of hard, so I kind of quit, but I should like continue it. Ukulele chord finder, this time just for the soprano ukulele. This is my lyric notebook. Best songs ever on ukulele. I've wanted this for a couple of years and I finally got it. First 50 songs, I got this 2 years ago for Christmas. I have a 2021 calendar. 2021 calendar. And then assorted papers. Okay. Continue. Let's open it. Let's open the chest. I'll do a transition. Haven't done a transition in a while. Okay. We have lots of books to cover. How should we start? Left to right, you say? Nah, I'm gonna do right to left. Starting with that little thing there. Okay. We have a grammar book that I got for $3 at Barnes & Noble. So, I believe this row is just standalone paperbacks. Actually, that's not true, because starting off, the seventh song, it's the first in the series. So, yeah, it's not a standalone. But yeah. Okay, where should I put the books after I'm done with them? I'll just put them on the bed. I don't know. Let's put them on the side. Yeah, let's put them on the side. Okay. Then we have A Midsummer's Night Dream. You saw in the previous part that I showed you a No Fear Shakespeare version of this book as well. Then we have My Favorite Mealtime Praise. This is just like a nostalgic book. I used to read this all the time. Flowers for Algernon. I read this for freshman year English, the summer before freshman year. I liked it. It was a pretty good book. My How to Play Ukulele Quick Start Guide. There's this kind of interesting backstory along with this. So basically, originally my baritone ukulele was not technically a baritone ukulele because it had the strings of G, C, E, A, and baritone ukuleles are supposed to have D, G, B, E. So I've changed it at this time. But when I first got it, it was G, C, E, A. And this book here has tips about the fingering of G, C, E, A. But yeah, it has lots of important material. Maybe I should like look back at this because yeah. Attitudes of Gratitude. I think I got this for Christmas one year. Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This is the second book in the Children of Blood and Bone series by Tomi Adeyemi. I love Children of Blood and Bone. I liked this. I can't even remember. It's kind of forgetful. My question right now is the white thing behind her hair? Or is it just like a fancy, cool texture in the background? It's like unclear. I mean, it does end. So maybe it's her hair, but yeah. I don't remember her hair being like this in the book. It was unclear, but yeah. Third one apparently is coming out in 2023, which is so annoying considering Tomi said that it would come out in 2021. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start taking a few at a time. So we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid by The Long Haul by Jeff Kenny. I have a few Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. I have this one, I believe I have Double Down, and I have the Do-It-Yourself book. Then we have the good old NIV Adventure Bible, as well as the 57 Bus. I also read this for English class. Yeah, and I liked it. It was very interesting. It's like kind of diverse, I guess. Like the main characters are non-binary and African American. So yeah. The Terrible 2. I love this book. It's like probably one of the books that I read when I was younger that was the funniest to me. Look Both Ways by Jason Reynolds. This is a book that I got during the good old quarantine binge. It wasn't that memorable, honestly. It's pretty short. Now it's like way below my reading level, and yeah, I don't know. I also have a book that I got. This is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. It's just a small book. It's so cool. When I saw it, I knew I had to get it because it was only like, actually I don't know how much it was, but I'll write it on the side if I ever figure it out. But I know it was inexpensive. Okay, time to put everything back. I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Shame on me. Okay. Next one. Do you want this? Do you want me to do this pile or this one? I'll do this one because this is shorter. Various other ukulele books. I have so many ukulele books. We have Ukulele Method Book 2. I do not own the first one of the series. I literally just went through it in a day. Like, no offense, Hall Leonard, generally it's pretty easy in terms of the content. And sometimes I just skip things because I'm not like interested in them. But this is something I kind of want to start again. It's ukulele aerobics. Basically, it's supposed to be a 40-week, 1 lick per day workout program for developing, improving, and maintaining ukulele technique. And yes, I just read this little thing up here. That's how I know what it's about in so much detail. But what I did, I just did a week a day. So I just took 40 days, and I did one each day. And some of the material was hard for me, and I took screenshots whenever something was hard. So one of these days I want to go back and just start this over. The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This is kind of a bad purchase. I haven't even read it. I mean, it's the illustrated copy, so it looks real cool, but if I'm being honest, I haven't read the illustrated copy, so I need to go get around to it. It was like probably really expensive. It was literally $40, and I haven't even read this thing, and I have the original book. So this was kind of a bad purchase. I think it was like for Christmas or my birthday, but it looks cool. At least I hope so. I also read Greek Gods and Greek Heroes by Rick Riordan, and it's the same artist, John Rocco. So actually I know for a fact they're going to be very great drawings, because there were drawings in Greek Heroes and Greek Gods, and I love those drawings. Fun fact, I actually used to own Greek Gods, but then I left it at NASA when I went to Houston, and then Greek Heroes I have on Kindle. So we have Sudoku. We have Look Inside the Human Body. I can honestly just, I don't know, take it outside my room because I don't really want to have it in my room. My notebook that I asked and bought for, I think it was pretty cheap, which is good because I haven't even really used it. But yeah, it has like blank staff paper. Can you see that? No, you can't. But yeah, once I learn how to write music, I'll definitely use it. We went to the Radio City Rockettes, and I got this book, a Harry Potter book, another Harry Potter book. Okay, we're like halfway there, let's say, even though that's definitely a lie. You know what may be better, like for my back, and also maybe in terms of time? I'll just sit down, and I'll show it to you. I don't really need to see how it looks. I mean, it's just it's the chest. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, create every day. It's literally a blank notebook. The Weston game, I got this only because I heard that my school was going to be doing the play of it. We ended up not doing it, so I never read it. But yeah, it's like a classic, kind of. Excuse me. So I should get to reading that. How do I deal with my emotions? This is the worst book that I ever had. My life as a book. This isn't really my book. This is my sister's, so maybe I'll go give it to her after this video. But I'm pretty sure a brother and sister like wrote and drew for it, which is cool. Missions of All Evil, another book that I haven't read about Maleficent. American History, everything you need to ace American History in one big fat notebook. I have a lot of these. You saw earlier. I showed you the algebra one and the English language art one. I think we have at least one more downstairs. Oh, I also have the biology, everything you need to ace. This is a book that I got from Ghana called Who Told the Most Incredible Story. It's like a picture book. Yeah. Okay. Bridge of Clay. I asked this for Christmas. I started reading it and it was kind of interesting and then I just stopped. But it's actually autographed, which is really cool, by Marcus Duzak. He wrote The Book Thief, which he's probably more popular for writing. This is more recent than The Book Thief. More recently written and released. Close Enemies. This is a Ghanaian story. Yeah. Japanese short stories. My dad went to Japan for a job and he brought this back. Dreams for My Father by Barack Obama. Okay, so from this point on, I'm pretty sure these are books that I've recently bought, but I don't want to read like right away. Okay, yeah, so Barack Obama's book. Books for Living, I think it's just like, I don't know. Some thoughts on reading, reflecting, and embracing life. That sounds promising. Beautiful Boy. A father's journey through his son's addiction. There's also a book written by his son called, what is it called? I think it's called Tweak, and I need to buy that as well. That's written by Nick Sheff. And I think reading both of them will be better than just reading one. Then we have Crank, which is another book about addiction. Then we have Look Me in the Eye, which I got from a library book sale, as well as all these that I've showed you. My sister read in freshman year and she liked it. Little do we know, I'm pretty sure this is a book that has been on my to be read list for a very long time, and I just saw it at the trashes recycling place and I just thought I'd buy it, so I did. Okay, then we have Tuesdays with Marie. Somebody also in freshman year read this and recommended it to the class, and I want to read it. The author also wrote a book called The 5 People You Meet in Heaven that I want to read. And then finally we have Paper Towns by Mr. John Green. Okay, the good news is things in this, at least the first few books in this row, column, whatever you want to call it, are just blank notebooks. I just keep them in here. So yeah, none of these are written in. So I have like 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just like a small one that you get like from hotels. And then 5. Okay. Oh, the moment when you remember. There are literally 2 piles underneath these notebooks. It's okay, splendid. You know what, we're gonna go double time, okay? I won't talk too much. Okay. Amulets. I like this series. Lots of books. The 9th one still hasn't come out yet. I'm kind of anxious because I really want to read the finale. Because I'm pretty sure the 9th one will be the finale. Sideways Stories from Wayside School. I just love the series. I think I actually read them out of order. I read the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one, but that's okay. And yeah, I just like them. They're kind of wacky. Okay, so I think this is like my, not that you care, but this is like my paperback series pile. Then we have Stick Dog. This is the first, the second, and then like the 8th or 7th. So there's a big space between the ones that I got. Okay, never mind. Not scratch that. It's not paperback. I think it's just series in general. So now we just have James Patterson books. I guess they aren't really in the same series, but yeah, we just have a slew of James Patterson books, which will just name by title starting now. Unbelievingly Boring Bards, Word of Mouths, Treasure Hunters, Quest for the City of Gold, Laugh Out Loud, iFunny, School of Laughs, The Nerdiest, Wimpiest, Dorkiest iFunny Ever, Treasure Hunters, Danger Down the Nile, Potty Mouth and Beep. And yeah, those are all the books that I have in this chest of James Patterson, I believe. I know I have... I'm pretty sure there's another book that I just got on Kindle by him that I don't have a physical copy of as well. Okay. Lightning Thief, Titan's Curse, I don't have the second one. I don't have Sea Monsters. I need to get Sea Monsters. The Battle of the Labyrinth and The Last Olympian. I got these all from just like a house that was selling some of its stuff. I'm not sure how much it was, but it was probably inexpensive. But yeah, I definitely need to get the second one because I only have the first, third, fourth, and fifth. And there are 5 in the series, so I need to get the second one. Escape from the Isle of the Lost, as well as the Isle of the Lost. I have the last book and the first book in the same series, but I don't have the second or third. I'm tired. Then the iconic Geronimo Stilton. This is like the book series I want to say that I grew up with. It's about a mouse named Geronimo Stilton. The actual author is somebody named I think it's Elizabeth Demy or Elizabetta Demy, something like that. But yeah. These are just the Kingdom of Fantasy books I believe I have here. Kingdom Fantasy, Quest for Paradise, The Enchanted Charms, The Search for a Treasure. Then The Journey Through Time is not a Kingdom of Fantasy book, but we do have The Phoenix of Destiny, which I think is the latest book that I've read in the Kingdom Fantasy series. This is like such a thick book, like it's not even that thick, but it's like 700 pages. So I thought I was so fancy for finishing it. How many pages is it? Let me see. Yeah, about like 600. But yeah, it is up there. Okay. Then we have Alien Escape, Cave Mice Don't Wake the Dinosaur. This is from Space Mice. Cave Mice The Stone of Fire, The Journey Through Time, Dinosaur Disaster. The Race Across America, Rumble in the Jungle, Geronimo Stilton and the Golden Medal Mystery, and The Way of the Samurai. I probably have more somewhere in my house, but yeah, I love Geronimo Stilton. He should really be in my favorite books shelf, but I don't have enough room. Okay. Okay, stay with me. We only have one row left. Here's another James Patterson book. Public School Superhero. I read this with my mother. She liked it. Here's The Green's Not Okay. This is another nominee this year. I read it. I gave it 8 out of 10. Yeah. I think it was 8 out of 10. Ghost by Rainey Taylor Jr. She also wrote the series called Smile, as in Smile as well as Sisters. I think that's more popular than Ghosts. I got this from a book sale at my school. Then we have the iconic Who Was series. This was also kind of integral to my childhood. Who Were, Who Was, Who Is, whatever. But yeah, I love fairy tales, so I had to read this. Honestly, it may have to go on my favorite books list. And if not, it's definitely gonna go to my next read list. So you know what? I'm gonna put it right there right now. Okay. The Boy in the Black Suit. I read this recently, I think sometime in 2021 before the summer started. So we have Roller Girl, Red Berries, White Clouds, Blue Guy's Life Application Study Bible. Ugh. And then we have Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. My grandfather asked me to read this and write an essay on it, and I did. Then this is another Nutmeg nominee. I don't think it was a Nutmeg nominee the year I did it, but it still was. As in the year I did the book bowl. Then The Color of Water. I read this fairly recently as well. I liked it. The Great Green Heist. I needed to read this book. I don't think I ever finished it. And I poured water on it once, and like that kind of deterred me from reading the rest of it, I feel like. But yeah, I definitely need to read this because I like it. The Tooth Fairy. Another Nutmeg nominee, The Misadventures of the Family Fletcher. Ooh. Backfield Boys. It talks about racism. Gifted Hands. I believe I share a birthday with Ben Carson. The School Story by Andrew Clements. I believe I moved Frindle to either my favorite list or my next soon to be read list. But yeah, this is also by Andrew Clements. The Lego Movie Junior novel. The comparison between this and the movie, there's like so many things that are exactly alike. The Chocolate Touch. I think I once owned 2 copies of this book. I'm not sure if I do anymore, but yeah. Oh my goodness! The Wizard of Oz. I recently read this online, but I mentioned me reading this version of the book, this copy of the book in that video. But yeah, I forgot this was in here. Cool. Finally, The Journey of the Little Charlie. This is like the most boring book I've ever read. I want to say, at least like recently. It's by Christopher Paul Curtis, who wrote like The Mighty Miss Malone and The Boston Goats Birmingham and Bud Not Buddy. I've only read Bud Not Buddy, but I think I enjoyed that one. This, like, I don't even remember what happened at all. I like read the page, but I did not know what was happening, and I can't remember anything that happened in this book. And honestly, I don't care enough to reread it. We have the great Bible stories, and the dude we're discussing is Moses. Okay. The interesting thing about all of this is I kind of feel like I have more books, which is kind of odd. Actually, let's see. I'm going to change so you can actually see me and I can see myself. Okay. I'm glad it didn't stop the video. I can't stream this. Okay. Kind of. Hold on. But yes. I feel the weird thing is I actually kind of feel like I have more books than this. But I guess I don't, at least not in my room. Maybe if I'm feeling, I don't know, adventurous or whatever, I'll film a video of me showing you every book in this house that I own. Which I doubt I will, because that'll take like way too long. But yeah, this was very fun. This was very fun to look through all the books that I want to read and all the books that I have read and I enjoyed. And yeah, there's like so many books that I haven't read and I don't have like an intense want to read as well. So not so many books, but like a few. It's like a whole mess of things. It's cool. But thank you so much for watching, as I always do. I hope this was fun. I don't even have that many books. Maybe while I'm editing this, while I'm like watching it for the final time before I release it, I'll count how many books I have. And I'll put that to the side. Or maybe you know what I'll do? Instead of doing that, instead of like editing it in on the side of me here, I'll wait until I watch the video and I count them, and then I'll like react to the number along with you. Like I'll calculate it in real time. Like I'll write tally marks of like 5 and then like just count them all up live for the like final clip of this video. Don't get as many books as I have, because like trees are like, I'm a tree killer. I'm literally a tree killer. I need to work on minimalism, like in terms of buying books. At least a little. Like, I kind of feel guilty.